cheating. Essence. Consume. High five to anyone who got that terrible impression. So Terran versus Protoss, a very interesting matchup to begin with, and you add in the element of STARBOW, and whoa, right? I believe these are still best of ones, guys. So spawning in the lower left corner of the map, starting this day off with a lovely invite, saving esports. It is the Green Protoss, Scantid. And if I'm saying his name wrong, I'm really sorry. But his opponent, guys, is that a freaking ghost? Because he is not on a team. Just this wonderful individual who is, in fact, streaming himself from first-person point of view. You can check him out on twitch.tv/Beastyqt. He's also on the Team Liquid calendar. Give it up for the Blue Terran, Beastyqt. Now, as stated before, guys, this game's different. STARBOW. Oh, I gotta put the production tab on. That'd be cool. STARBOW's got different elements to it, but for the most part, it's still StarCraft 2. Now this is kind of cool because people often like to refer to this as like elements of Brood War incorporated. It's kind of like Brood War's unofficial expansion. However you want to look at it, I just see it as StarCraft 2 with a lot of cool different tweaks to it. Beastyqt was of course a player who did play a lot in Brood War. He kind of got his kicks around that time. Was one of the best Wings of Liberty Terrans Europe had to offer, and then unfortunately retired and tried to take up League of Legends. And I asked him if he was still going full-time with League or if he was trying to figure things out. And he said, I don't know, STARBOW looks neat, it's caught my attention, let's see how it is. So, I don't know if he's had a lot of practice for this or if he's just jumping into this YOLO, but hold on, guys. I guess some things don't change with Protoss, and proxies are still prevalent. So we got to see a lot of the different changes for Protoss in that last game. I'll give a quick TLDR for anyone just tuning in. You don't get Chrono Boost on the Nexus, and Warp Tech is like not until like after Templar Archives, Twilight Council, or something really far down the line. So you can't warp in units easily across the map like this. So Scantid is most certainly, in my opinion, probably going to be doing Reaver drops off of this. It would be the go-to. But BC says, you know what? Just like old Brood War maps, these bases are very open with awkward chokes. I better have vision everywhere, and puts a supply depot down immediately. Barracks production is a bit fickle here. Well, you know what? We talked a lot about Protoss in that last game. We didn't get to discuss Terran, so let's talk about this a little bit. You can make an orbital, you can make a planetary. Of course, it's always one or the other, and it's no different here in STARBOW. One of the key differences... Oh!
First blood!
Probe did go down. One of the key differences, though, is there's upgrades now with the command center. You can scan like normal, and you can no longer drop mules, but instead you actually call down an SCV. You basically insta-build an SCV. And what this does is, yes, it eats up supply. It's not a free unit like a mule. Saturation is not as big of a deal, so I really don't think orbitals are nearly as necessary, and that's why you don't see Beastyqt skipping to build one. Instead, he's got the barracks already finished. He's just continuing with SCV production, because that's all he'd really be using the orbital for at the moment, but... over here, as predicted, is going to be a robo facility, and Reavers, guys. Oh god, if you've never seen a Reaver in StarCraft, if you never watched Brood War, you're going to have a very fun time watching Beastyqt's mineral line get destroyed here in a little bit. Now, you'll notice vultures are being produced. There's no more Hellions in the game. That's because the barracks now has fire bats available once again. It can produce medics. It can do all these wonderful, cool, crazy things. Vultures are neat, though. They put spider mines down. Spider mines are essentially, they're kind of like widow mines you can target before they hit you. So like they arm, they go bleep 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 bleep, and they stay in the air for like a second, and then they come towards you. You can target them down with relative ease. Now, unfortunately for Scantid, because he has almost no defense at home due to investing in this, oh god, is this going to be a Colossus? No, wait, Colossus I think we're taking out of Protoss, right? Yeah, so just, hang on. Sorry, I'm getting my STARBOW and my StarCraft 2 knowledge mixed up. We'll see what happens here in a second. I'm pretty sure you still need... Maybe you need this for Reavers, I guess. Sorry, like I said, I only played about 10 games yesterday. Or 11. But gets on top of the mineral line here is performing a bit of harass, and as we can see, Vultures, of course, do have a lot of damage built into them. But a very, very slow attack speed. Scantid accidentally attacking his Nexus in a fit of panic, and while he might be trying to do some cool proxy stuff with this Reaver, so it is going to be the Reaver, and I'm just retarded, he's unfortunately losing a lot of his mineral line, and trying to engage onto this is really not easy. Does clean this up, but the second wave coming out of Beastyqt, more Vultures on the way, and I commend him for trying to do this Reaver thing, but just not fully walled off at home, no cannons for defense. Dragoons moving out once more. I think Scant is going to go for a bit of an all or nothing situation here, or at least put on a show for the stream. And so Reavers, guys, they're kind of like carriers. They build units that require to attack, but unlike interceptors, they're not permanent. They die upon usage. It basically shoots out banelings. I think that's the best way I can describe this. Yes, that's how we'll describe this. It basically shoots out miniaturized banelings. There you have it. So starting to build up some units here. He's actually opted to pull the Dragoons first? Okay? I guess with Reaver being so slow. Of course, it looks a little bit funny watching, but this was one of the pinnacle units of Brood War. This is kind of what the Colossus replaced, guys. But the Scarabs do cost 15 minerals per shot, so as someone in chat here boldly states, he could be screwed. He might not be able to make more. Or is it 5 minerals? I thought it was 15. Maybe I'm mistaken on that. But trying to do some sick micro here, picking up and dropping. Like I said, gonna put on a show for us, but. Of course, the attack speed of the Reaver, not exactly the fastest thing, but explosive damage being dealt nonetheless. And this one Warp Prism, oh god. Can you not build Scarabs inside the Warp Prism? I'm wondering? Because I don't see his mineral count going down. That could be a bug if he's actually able to do that. But as we see, crazy explosive damage going off, and Scantid being a showman for us. I think he knows he's out of this game, guys. I don't think that's a mystery to him, as he's got no mining going on and one Vulture wrecking his base, but still trying to have a bit of fun with the mod before he goes out. Beastyqt with some great Vulture control, though. No. Of course, as we see, it takes a few seconds for the Scarab to go off. It's not instantaneous, but looks like he might not even have any available, I think. It showed the little targeting icon on the ring, but good game is going to be called, and Beastyqt will take the victory and move on in the brackets. Okay, so it did cost 15. He only had 10 resources. I wasn't sure about that, so he was just completely empty and dry at the end there. But, you know, round of applause for Scantid, guys. He went for something cool. And in StarCraft 2, there's not a lot of that. There's so many people who try hard. They're like, oh, I'm going Marines, Marauders, and Medevacs. Like, well, I guess you can't do Medevacs in this. They were taken out. We didn't get to talk about that, of course, but...